Welcome back, disc golf fans, to the Back Nine coverage of round 2 of the 2021 Delaware Disc Golf Challenge at Iron Hill, presented by Innova Champion Discs. I'm Brian Earhart, joined here by Nathan Queen, and we are watching some decent disc golf right now. Connor O'Reilly being the talk of the round so far. 5 under par with a bogey on hole 3, looking like he's made a solid comeback from that.
Yeah, starting off strong during this second round. Rick was right there with him, took a bogey on the last hole of the front to fall back just a little bit. Colten and Lance having their struggles, but hanging in there pretty tight. You see the rest of the field also coming out hot, keeping it pretty close overall. We've got Corey Ellis with a 7 down through the front 9.
And we have that Flight Factory drone fly through moving into hole number 10, the hardest hole on the course. And it's just hard because this opening tee shot moves left so quickly. And if you want a birdie down this long corridor, you have to get aggressive off this tee shot.
You have to be aggressive and you have to land in the fairway. If you're off to the right or off to the left, there's just too much distance left to bite off to get that birdie.
And I think this decision from Connor is going to be... This is going to be aggressive. I think he is going to try to get that birdie. Flex sidearm. And you need it to flatten as it's moving forward, because if it bends too far to the left, you finish left. Perfect. I think he should have something from there.
And Colten's got around the corner. He's a little bit on the left side. That'll make it difficult for him to get the full shape or flight to the pin. He'll most likely be able to get a par from there.
Ricky following Connor. High flex sidearm, but that's too high.
Yeah, this is going to stall out. And he gets a pretty good tree there. You hear him say thank you. He's still a little bit on the right side, but he may be past enough trees to be able to work something to the green from there. I've played with Lance a decent amount in North Carolina. He's only about 45 minutes from where I grew up at in Burlington. He is in Burlington, and he only knows aggressive.
Get way down there.
And he's gotten it pretty far down there, gets a good tree, and is in the fairway right there with Connor.
And I'm guessing, just like you said, he'll try to potentially throw some sort of cool hyzer stand-up forehand from there. Oh, Ricky. That rough on the right side is not pretty. He might have to be looking up at that point. Here we go. Straddle, sidearm. Looks like he might be trying to flex one. I'm not sure.
Again, stepping towards the wood line rather than away from it with that sidearm. And just doesn't quite get it right. Should be able to get a par from there, though.
Connor puts it a bit to the right or left, and he's going to be circle 2 away from the basket, about 60 feet.
Yeah, he just needed that to stand up a little bit more. Whenever you're throwing your second shot in the woods, it's further than your first shot. Sometimes it's hard to commit to it. It's just a different feeling.
And this should be a pretty routine upshot for Colten, just a straight putter. This is the shot that pros practice the most. And he puts it right next to the basket.
Yeah, it was a little muddy around this basket, and this mulch here kind of helps slow the discs down once they do get up there.
And a huge shout out to the crew out here at Iron Hill. The fairway of hole 10 on the tee shot was covered in mud, and it was punishing some really good drives. They covered it all with wood chips to flatten out the ground.
Oh, and
Connor O'Reilly!
Connor's got the birdie from 70, 65.
Look at that!
Clean hyzer release.
Edge of circle 2 birdie on hole number 10. Look at that.
What a putt to keep this hot round going. See if Ricky can back it up just a little bit left side. But great birdie on the hardest hole on the course from Connor.
Ricky snags the par. At this point, there's a little distance starting to form between him and Connor. Par birdie birdie versus par bogey par.
A good par putt from Lance as well. After being in a good position, he made that par look pretty scrambly. And Colten's still riding the roller coaster a bit this round. Moving into hole 11, 600 feet. If you can get 300 feet straight off of the tee, it will get you to about this point, and then you'll have the rest of the gap to hit. No matter where you land, you're gonna have to throw some type of angled shot to get into the green. It seems pretty difficult to land straight into the gap.
Yep, and here's Connor. He's going to go with that flippier fairway driver that he's throwing. Punch it forward. Decent amount of hyzer on this thing. Oh, and he has that angle just so smooth right now.
What a fantastic release. You can tell that he's not laboring. He's not trying very hard. That was just a smooth 40% power maybe release right there.
Just trusting the stability of the disc to do the work. He controlled the first 100 feet and just let the disc do the work after that.
Ricky got this turned over just a little bit. That right side's a little tricky, but Ricky is very good at getting tricky.
One of the best of all time at getting out of trouble. Oh, no. Speaking of which...
Just misses that left line, which is a good flex line. It's just a little tighter to get that drift over to the left side. It does bring an earlier hit into play if you don't get it right.
Pulls it just a little bit, but it keeps flying. He's going to be off to the left side. Actually going to probably have a look for a birdie from there, but it's going to be a tight window.
Yeah, left side is more open than the right side for sure, as you see Lance here.
Ooh, look at that flip up. So close. Wow.
And there's Tricky Ricky getting it close to this another OB line that seems a bit random, but no harm there. He's over inside the circle for about a 15-foot birdie putt. Colten pushing a little long. He's also got himself a circle one putt.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, great scramble from Lance there. He'll be happy with the par after an early tree hit.
We finally get to Connor's drive. He has to go to a patent pending stance, stepping backwards, actually. Oh, and that looks fantastic.
That's the way to do it. And another bounce back from Colten. He's given himself a lot of opportunities to pad that stat this round. I'm sure he's ready to knock that out and just get the birdies.
Another birdie for Rick. And he's just having to keep pace with Connor right now.
Who gets another turkey on the round.
The disc is just coming out of his hand, like you said, very smooth and very deliberate. You can tell that he's throwing exactly what he wants.
When the PDGA National Tour rolls into town, the action is intense and the competition fire. But every inferno, no matter the size, must begin as a spark. With PDGA sanctioned leagues and tournaments, anyone can get in the game. Fuel your fire. Find an event near you at pdga.com.
Hole number 12, 520-foot old school par 4. Short technical shot to a landing zone at this elbow here. Kind of right about here, you have to push it. And then another short technical shot to a green, surrounded by rocks. Really not the hardest hole in theory, but there's so many little trees and little spots that are tough to get up and down from.
This is one of the holes where if you don't hit the intended landing zone, the shot does get quite a bit harder, even though it may look open. There's lots of sporadic trees if you're not in that straight line.
And another very deliberate shot.
I've been seeing the right-handed backhands get a little more aggressive than I thought they would get on this hole, going with drivers and trying to get a big flare off to the left side.
There is OB long. If they do happen to get those drivers pushed up straight, there is a road deep OB. Oh.
And Rick trying to get aggressive there, going with a flex Firebird, I believe, and just catches the first available on the left side. That's going to be a tough time from there.
You know, we'll see if he tries to cut the corner from there. I'm not sure if there's too many lanes back there.
Colten not getting aggressive. This is more the play I thought we would see from most people. Just throwing a straight shot. Gets a little unfortunate kick to the right at the end, but it looked like he had the distance about dialed in.
Now, this is what we want to see on this hole. Lance going with the tomahawk. That's awesome.
Right up on a tree, though. I'm sure we'll see him go with another standstill sidearm from there.
And Rick going with a forehand roller.
Yeah, you can work something there.
Yeah.
And he is almost to the intended gap down to the green, or rocks on this hole.
Definitely not much green around the basket on this hole. Ricky, like you said, having to manufacture something and kind of sneaks by that one.
Oh, this is going to be in danger, that OB.
And he finds the out of bounds, and that's not an easy putt from there. Wow.
This needs to not kick anything. Okay, and he does sit up there on the side hill. He'll have a pretty difficult look for birdie.
Oh, that harp is fading out, and it kicks a tree and gives him such a fortunate result. He is 10 feet from the basket for another birdie. Wow.
And Colten left that just a bit low. This is a very tricky green to get to. You have to keep it high enough to get over those rocks, but as you can see, it does drop off pretty steeply down towards that OB. Hard to land on this one where you want to. Colten just a bit low there.
Great birdie from Lance.
Yeah, Lance crawling his way back to even again for the round.
And that is a fortunate break for Connor, but 4 birdies in a row. He's kind of on fire right now. Ever since that bogey on 3, he really tightened his focus up, and he has been stringing together some great scores.
That brings us to hole 13, 360 feet, another downhill par 3. You've got to throw pretty straight, and then you want an aggressive left, kind of right at the end of your flight. If you kick one of these trees off to the right too far, you could go OB.
Going mid-range, subtle hyzer. That looks really good.
Yeah, it slowed down and started to fade pretty quickly right at the end and gets a good little knockback towards the pin. He'll be inside circle 1 for a 5th birdie attempt in a row. Good fairway hit.
It definitely gets the fairway hit. Left side on this hole is actually terrible. Because not only do you have to get down the hill, you have to get down the hill and still hit that left turn.
Colten just a bit on that left side. I believe he advanced far enough down the fairway that the upshot won't be too difficult, but he should have a gap to hit still.
Ricky going flex again.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
That is that aggressive late turn that I was talking about. He went with a very stable disc there and got it flat, moving right just a bit, but knew that it would dump at the end.
He just kind of leaned his entire body weight into the shot.
Yep.
Oh, and Lance throwing a great shot, too. He's going to go a little bit long, but...
Yeah, that's unfortunate. He hit all those rocks right there, and it just kind of kept going forward. Usually you see discs slow down at that point.
Oh, that's got to sit down. Okay. Flip your disc.
That's a tough one after you threw such a great upshot, being short on the tee, to not capitalize on that. Colten able to, though. Gets his par. And then we've got a couple birdie looks here.
Yeah, Connor is just putting him close right now. He's thrown the disc really well.
Spend all your beating and fly like a tree, and then you get done here and they're like junk.
And Colten's speaking some facts.
This course is definitely rough on the Frisbees.
Yeah, there's definitely going to be some tryouts happening after the tournament. Hole number 14, 400 feet, dead straight. But dead straight in a way that you have to throw some sort of flip-up shot. There isn't a lot of room off the left side to swing those flexes that Ricky really does like to throw. So if he is going to throw flat, it better be punched dead forward. Connor is going to be throwing another fairway. Connor is a big kid. He is tall, he's athletic, he's a basketball player. Kind of matching the body type of a lot of the new players on the tour. And he hits that angle really well again.
Yeah, he gets just past those last trees on the right, and let's take a look at this form.
And Connor has a little shorter of a extension. But again, you see he kind of brings the disc up a little bit, throws a little bit more nose up on his shots, but he likes that nose up hyzer flip angle.
That did kind of remind me a decent amount of Ricky's form there.
Yes. Yeah, they both like to throw similar lines, except, that Ricky likes to throw the nose up and hyzer flexes. But this line right here is very similar to what Connor was trying to throw.
And he has hit that same line and just hit the tree right behind the basket. He'll be 15 feet for his birdie, trying to get back on track after that rough hole 12.
Oh, pulled that one a little bit. That's got to sit down. You saw his body kind of stand up on it last second. Let's see if Lance can pop a hyzer flip down this fairway. Wow.
Oh, and throws it straight at the tree on the right with such a flippy disc.
That is so sick.
And he is up inside the circle, just using the whole fairway. Incredible shot. So fun to watch.
Okay, 35 footer for Lance. Oh yeah, great putt.
And again, just fighting. Gets back to par.
I don't know if anyone else in the field is attacking this hole the way Lance just did. Those lines are so unique, and I call him a forehand specialist in every sense of the word. He has every shot with the sidearm. Connor is officially on a scorcher right now. He's parking everything.
I think he just pulled off the six-pack.
Double turkey. Maybe we call it the pheasant. Maybe not. We're not going to call it that.
And Ricky with the birdie as well. 2 great drives to get a couple birdies on this very tough and enjoyable to birdie par 3. That moves us into hole 15, a little less enjoyable. 400 feet, probably plays about 480. It looks like you want to throw it straight, but again, you've got to throw that hyzer stand-up shot. And then if you've got enough power, you can get it to fade at the end and maybe reach the basket. Otherwise, circle 2 and you're pretty happy with it.
Yeah, this is a shot where Connor's sidearm really comes into play because he loves those little subtle flexes. He's not throwing the most overstable disc, but he snaps it.
Turned it just a bit too much and gets the kick back down left. Sometimes that can carry pretty far backwards since it is downhill right there.
Looked like maybe a little slip from Ricky.
Again, drifting a little too far left and just trying to fight through those trees. But like I was saying, circle 2, circle 3, or just outside circle 2, you're kind of what you expect on this one.
We will likely see a circle 3 one day. People are making putts from way too long distances now. Lance is praying for good fortune, and he gets a little bit of good fortune. He's going to be up there probably in that circle 3 range that we're talking about. And here, yeah, Colten is going to have to throw that long, forever flipping hyzer flip.
Yeah, let's go.
Oh my God,
hit the
you gotta be
cage.
kidding me.
That was
That was so sick. And you couldn't quite see a lot of it because of his dark colored disc. But what I really like about Colten's throw is if he's throwing that steep of a hyzer, he tilts his spine and rotates around that axis rather than just bringing the disc down. He really over exaggerates that.
I just want to point out that this hole does play over 450 feet of power, and Colten just skipped up and hit the cage.
Oh my gosh, what a
He
run.
probably doesn't even know. It's blind. You can't see it at all.
We'll clip it for him.
Yeah, they're just seeing Colten's disc right now. So few birdies on this hole that it actually does play over par. And 3 pars and an absolute tap-in birdie after a cage hit from Colten. Great shot, man.
I've never been more confident on the putting green than I am with the Nexus Firefly. To allow me to be part of the design process for the Firefly is a huge honor. It's a reminder of the success that I've been able to have with Innova Champion discs. The Nexus Firefly is the best putter I've ever used.
Hole number 16, low ceiling, 610 feet. Subtle bend to the right, and flatten out and push forward, and then you have a nice tight corridor to get through here to this basket, perched up on these rocks. Pretty straightforward hole for the most part, but that opening tee shot is very specific.
This is probably one of my favorite par 4s on the course, just because of the placement needed on the first shot, but it's still a tight gap. Once you hit the gap, you've got some trees in the middle of the fairway you have to decide to go left or right of.
And Connor just hitting that hyzer angle.
And just a bit low. He'd like to carry a little further, but he'll still be in the middle and looking down the gap to get a birdie. The second gap.
And a pretty nifty skip there off the rock.
Yeah, he'll be off to the right side. There is a smaller gap over there. It does lead straight to the pin, but it is a smaller gap to hit from that side. And Lance going with the hyzer stand up. He pushes over to that right side as well.
The thing about this hole is even if you are at the top of the hill, the shot to the basket is not that much harder than being far forward and down the hill. It's almost similar distance with the loss in altitude. And Connor throwing a nice mid-range here, just flattening out nicely, and he's done it again, Nathan. Wow. Another park job. He is just flowing right now.
And Lance going with the stand-up sidearm, flexing it right down that smaller gap on the right side. Looks like Ricky's going to go for that same line. Does it as well. We've got 4 birdie looks here. And there we go. Colten 2 in a row, puts him 2 down on the round. Starting to feel it a little bit. This is Lance to get under par. Could have stuck just a little bit right side. We saw another miss from him right, but that one a little closer. And Ricky and Connor with the nice tap-ins there. I believe he was dunking for the Hornets there.
Here we are, 17. I would say the signature hole at Iron Hill. Tight, wide open corridor, subtle bend to the left. You have to flip something up and push it forward. And then a great drive gets just past the 500-foot marker to the basket. So if you want the eagle, you have to shape a phenomenal shot to get up to this mounted green. Just a wonderful disc golf hole. And Connor is sitting in a great spot right now, score-wise. He is in sole first place, as you can see. He's going with that same flippy fairway, that Explorer. And he's just trusting it. He's trusting the first 50 feet of the flight and letting the stability of the disc do the work.
And yeah, he stayed in the fairway. He's a little close to those trees on the right, but I don't believe they'll be too much in his way.
He'll have a sidearm from there, no problem. Connor's 11 under par right now. And that's the thing about this hole is there's a lot of these little boulders in the middle of the fairway. And even if you throw a great drive or a great second shot, you could be right on top of one of them.
Yeah, it was good that that just kicked him straight down
Yeah.
and didn't move him left or right, though. He'd still be in the fairway. This needs to miss some trees on the right side, but if it does, it will be fantastic.
That is so big.
Get out of the way,
That's
cameraman.
huge. That's one of the biggest drives I've seen in this hole.
Wow.
And a quick look at Ricky's throw kind of charges the tee pad. I love that his cross step is super quick and super short. It allows him to get through his shot a lot easier. He has a very unique backhand throw that's evolved very subtly over the years.
Just turning a little quickly here. Gets a kick forward, and he may have a fairly open line to advance up the fairway.
It's actually surprisingly open on the left side if you push it up there far enough, and Colten has smoked this shot.
What a technical shot to throw, too. He was kind of pinched off with those trees on the left side. He had to put a very steep hyzer angle on that to make sure he didn't hit early, but also not pulling it right. Great shot from Colten.
Look at this.
Full flight forehand. Out of Lance in the woods, celebrating with the crowd.
Okay. Oh, no.
Just a foot off, not much at all.
And that was a foot off of being a birdie look. And now he's got a tough shot up to the basket. There's a lot of rocks in that section that he just landed in. Oh, my.
You could see the disappointment in Ricky's body language there. He knows he had a chance to get that eagle after getting so far up the fairway.
And Connor's going to have a no problem up and down for a par from there, but he was, again, a couple feet away from that birdie look. Now Ricky still has some work to get up for birdie.
And a great forehand through a gap. Skips up the hill. We'll see if he stayed on the side over there. There's open putt if he did. And Colten. That's something you never want to do.
There we go. No. You love seeing the ambitious play pay off, but oh my goodness.
He's pulled it twice, 2 throws in a row now.
And Connor has thrown a nice soft landing approach, and he's going to probably have a 8-footer for a par. No problem.
Good run there from Lance. The further back you get, the tighter that gap where those steps are at seems to look.
Almost another huge circle 2-putt for Colten. His long putting stroke right now is just really dialed in.
Yeah, right on point. It's tough to miss high from way down there. And Ricky not able to capitalize with the birdie after such a great drive. Got aggressive trying to go for the eagle, and it cost him this time.
And going into the final hole, Connor has a look for par to stay 11 under going into 18.
Yeah, he is 18 under in solo first. 6 strokes in front of Ricky, who you can see is tied for third. So we've got somebody either on lead card or from third card charging for second right now.
This is one of my favorite courses to spectate, commentate, play, because literally anything can happen, and hole 18 is an incredible wild card. Long, tight corridor, left gap, wider right gap, skip forward and hope that you have enough distance so that these gaps look big enough to attack the basket. It's a tricky angle on the second shot.
If you don't push far enough down the fairway, then it seems like there's really no angle, and you're just to get to the basket anyway.
Yeah.
And you're just trying to manufacture something. You really want to get close to 400 feet off of this tee, even though you have to hit a very tight gap, 280, 290 feet away.
And he's gone fairway again. Oh, and he's hit off to the left side.
Fortunate landing there.
Yeah. Yeah, so he'll be able to bend one around the corner. And 4 is now looking like the play for him. Oh, my goodness.
And you could hear it right out of his hand. He knew it was tracking. And that's the tree to miss, left or right. And he's going to have a decent shot. Now he's going to have to be scrambling for a par.
Lance going forehand roller.
Stand up.
You know, I know Lance is not having the best round today, but he's a great addition to this card because he's taking lines and decisions that no one else on the card is
A
taking.
very unique player.
And one of the most unique I've ever played with, and it's always fun to watch.
And Colten has hit the gap.
That's perfect.
And he gets far enough down there where I believe he's got the straight corridor to the basket. Only has to deal with the trees left and right. Shouldn't have to do too much bending.
Okay. Connor's put himself far enough to where he has a straight look at the basket. Oh boy, this is steep. He might be going with a roller as well. It's always rolling the dice, throwing a roller out here.
Yeah, this is one of the few holes where it is more in play. There's a few less little rocks and roots on the ground. Lance was going for it again, and that tree has rolled him into the woods now, and that's going to be pretty difficult up from there.
Okay, so he's pinched a little bit. He's going to try to throw a flex, though. It's going to flatten nicely. Okay. This is right in his distance. He's been loving that distance this week, and Connor has a huge upshot. Put enough nose
He's
up on it.
Left this a little low. Those rocks are right about circle's edge. We'll see if he's got a tricky putt or if it's kind of a clean 30-footer. Good scramble from Ricky. He'll be tapping in his par. Lance with the final tomahawk.
He has had an interesting hole 18. Forehand roller, tomahawk.
And now he has a par look as well. Colten to get back to 2 down for the round and one more bounce back stat. Why not?
Let's go. Let's go.
What a putt.
Give him that Gatekeeper rewind. It's coming out of his hand just so nicely. He has been putting in work. And this is to stay 11 under par with a big lead.
And he does it. 11 under par, the hot round on the day. And with a couple changes out here to the course, that makes this the course record.
Yeah, that is exactly what you need. He is going into the final day looking like pretty sizable lead, but you know, it happens at any time somebody new has a lead going into the final round. People speculate about pressure and, you know, the mindset it takes to go into that final round, having an entire evening to think about it.
And even without that pressure, good par from Lance, even without that pressure, this is one of those courses where you can be playing well and shoot a 5 down instead of the 11 down that he played, and somebody else will get that 11 down. So still, even with a sizable lead that he has, it is up in the air. But great work from Connor.
Connor O'Reilly off the course with a record 11 under here. Connor, you have the lead. You outdueled Ricky Wysocki. What are you feeling right now?
It was a fun round. I really just tried to stick to my game plan. Had a couple short miss putts early, so I was a little nervous after those, but made sure on the tee boxes just to stay slow, stay in control of my feet. It was a little slippery out there today, and that really did me a number off the tee.
You had what you just calls an 83-foot putt on hole 10 to keep your birdie streak going. Do you have any moments in your disc golf career that compare to that one?
That was a pretty big one. You know, I hit a big putt playing with Rick, who you're used to hitting those big putts and hearing the crowd go crazy for him to so get one of those moments yourself. And after I threw his old compass into the green, I wanted to put that one close so I could kind of be like, hey Rick, I just threw your old disc, but kind of missed it off left and hit a good putt. And I knew at that moment, like, if I just kept plugging along, it'd be a good round.
2 years ago, you were playing in the advanced division. You don't have a win above a B tier. What are you going to do this evening to keep yourself cool and go into the final round?
Get some good food, hydrate, try to get some rest, and just keep doing what I've been doing. Try to play my game, try to keep the pace nice and even, and just give myself chances out there.
All right, Big Irish, Connor O'Reilly, your clubhouse leader. Good luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
And sounding like a seasoned veteran there, knows what to do. Calm down, not think about it too much. 6-stroke lead over Ricky Wysocki going into the final round at a national tour for Connor O'Reilly.
We have two solid hyzer flip forehand players at the top of the leaderboard. Andrew Marweed from Michigan is no stranger to these types of tight wooded lines. Raven Newsom also making the lead card, another really solid sidearm player.
Let's go North Carolina.
Yeah, representing North Carolina. This is going to be a phenomenal finish to this tournament. Can anyone catch Connor O'Reilly 5-stroke lead? Make sure to subscribe to Gatekeeper Media on YouTube, and we will catch you for the conclusion of the tournament. I'm Brian Earhart, he's Nathan Queen, and we are signing off.
We'll see you guys out there.